Well, hello again everyone and welcome to the latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. I'm here with Nicki Tempest-Mitchell, the Managing Director of Barrhead Travel, and we're at your overseas conference here in the beautiful Dubronik.
It's stunning. The weather has definitely turned today and it's absolutely glorious, but yeah, we're delighted to be here and the start of our conference has been incredible.
Yeah, so we've had the business sessions today. I've got 270 odd members of your team and covered a lot of ground actually, and you started with your business update and you were telling how well this year has gone so far, so tell us a bit about that.
Yes, we've had an incredibly strong trade-in. I think all of the sectors of our business is actually trading up, so tour and adventure, cruise, beach. So it's a real positive message to be able to deliver to our people today. So
yeah, and that's deliberate, isn't it? Because you went after those sort of more specialist markets, because I guess they're giving you higher margins. And
yeah, you can never stay still in our industry, and I think what's really great about it is there's always new product to go after, always new flight routes. So for us, obviously this year was purposed to really develop some of those areas.
Yeah, and you're aiming for another record, hoping for a record year at the end of this year and a record peak. So you're punching it, you're going for it.
I know. I hope I'm not here the day that we don't end up getting a record breaking, but yes, certainly next year, 2026, we want to make that the fourth record-breaking sales performance.
Fantastic. All right, and then you talked a little bit about how what you're going to be targeting. You're talking about charters going really well.
Yes.
Groups really good, and then you're also identifying some markets like luxury and river that are continuing to grow.
Yeah. So one of the things we've realised is having our own unique product is really important. So our customers are looking for value for money. We chartered an APT river cruise for 2026, and that's only been on sale now for a couple of months, and we're actually nearly 50% sold.
Fantastic.
So what we know is when we give our people something a little bit different, a little bit exclusive, they really support it. Yeah. So we've had charters with P&O Cruises. We have significant group allocations, hundreds and hundreds of groups, where we're able to give our people the value add or sometimes a price break. Yeah. But yeah, that's really important for us, and that's been something that's worked really well this year that will be continuing next.
Okay. And actually that's sort of what Caroline was talking about in the panel that I moderated around peaks, because she was saying what you just need is really early communication of the offers that are going to be out there, exclusive ones to Barrhead ideally, that would be good, and that really helps you in that key selling period.
Yeah, and when you look at a business of our size, we've got in our own Barrhead Travel retail stores and head office, there's over 500 employees, and then add our franchise model to that, it's significant. So if we only get the communication very last minute, it means that the communication will take time. Yeah. So sometimes suppliers miss out. They probably think they're doing the right thing for their business by not showing their hand in terms of their peaks campaigns, but actually we need them to think the other way. Yeah. Give the information to the travel agents like ourselves to be able to promote it earlier.
Yeah, okay. All right, so then you had Alistair Pritchard from Deloitte.
Yes.
Very interesting session. He was, lots of facts and figures. I mean, actually he talked about 250 different trends they'd identified that would converge in all at once. But obviously they represent sort of challenges and opportunities, don't they, for the business? Which ones really stood out for you that you think you can really get on the back of?
Well, I think he simplified it, because those 250 then went down to 6. And I think we're in a changing world, but what he brought it back to is no matter what's happening fast-paced in technology, that people-human interaction piece is so important. So where we're well placed for growth is making sure we keep in touch with our customers, keep building those personal relationships, and we'll do good. Yeah. So, but yeah, he had some amazing stats. Things like multi-gen holidays on the rise. I do that. I go away with my my in-laws, and we have an amazing holiday, and it's something that's a staple in our calendar every year now.
And he was talking, wasn't he, about more people renting than ever before. So I mean, there are sort of economic headwinds or issues, but he was also saying that even if those things are an issue, people will still manage that to then still afford a holiday. So are you feeling quite confident despite some of those sort of areas he identified?
That's been the trend really since COVID. I think people have prioritised holidays. There's always been a pinch to people's discretionary spend, but he said today it's beyond that now. Right. People are actually now cutting back on what he classes as critical spend to do holiday.
So and they're taking their money out of their investments, aren't they? Because they don't want to be stung for inheritance tax.
Absolutely.
And obviously with the budget coming, we know people are taking money out, so why not spend it on a holiday?
For us parents, we've got obviously an expensive few years ahead, taking our families on holidays. But I think it was a real powerful message to say people want a holiday, and they'll do everything they can to prioritise it, which is good.
Another trend you talked about was accessible travel. Actually, the size of that market, potentially worth 60 billion, which is incredible. You only need a little bit of that, don't you, Nick?
Of course we do. Of course we do.
But
We're not too greedy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you actually dedicated a whole panel to that, which is not normal, is it? To put that on. Fantastic woman from your branch, Vicky, wasn't she great?
Amazing.
So and really, so it was nice to hear from her point of view as an agent, but also as a consumer because she has a disability.
Yes.
So what did you make of that panel?
So I was so proud of that panel, as in, Vicky did an incredible job. What the journey she's been through has obviously been really, really tough. But what she helped us as an audience understand was, don't be frightened of asking the questions to the customers.
Or embarrassed, that word
and
came up,
don't be embarrassed. Everybody deserves a holiday, but, our people don't need to be the experts. They just need to speak to people who are the experts. Yeah. So I think leaning on the suppliers came out quite strong, making sure you don't shy away from questioning the customer, but just ask the same questions you ask anybody, and the customer will help lead what would make it the perfect holiday for them. Yeah. But it was really good because we had a good balance between airline,
land,
retail, tour operating. It was brilliant. So, and I think everyone was quite authentic. They don't always get it right, but
and just make people think, as you say, like that's a new market potentially.
Absolutely.
For them.
And I think our people clearly have, been scared of it. But there's a lot of operators out there, like TUI. They weren't on the panel today, but they've done a significant amount of work in terms of
they've got a great
helping
video
the trade.
Going around. I think if you've seen it, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I have, and I think what they've done is just brilliant.
Yeah,
really
and
good.
I loved Gordon from If Only He Said, "Paradise is for everyone."
I know, that was an amazing quote.
Yeah, really
amazing
good.
quote.
So that was good, and then of course we had Dondra.
Oh.
Dondra from Azamara, President, CEO. But the key message there, it was all about attitude, wasn't it? So what do you think your staff are going to take away from her session?
Well, they've took it away. They're absolutely buzzing.
Are they?
Oh, my word. Unbelievable. So the feedback on this morning's sessions has just been brilliant. Yeah. But Dondra has definitely fired them up. They're all very, very excited. So
this is the lion's mentality.
The lion's mentality. Have that right attitude. I didn't think she was going to show the picture of me doing the skydive, though. That was the one thing.
Well, you've got the lion's mentality, so she had to include you, obviously. And then that led really nicely, didn't it, into a session all about trading and peaks and what's coming up for next year with Dondra, of course, and also Wendy Wu, your very own Caroline and Ruth from P&O. So again, I think quite a useful session in terms of making people really focus on what they've got to, what their targets are and how they're going to get there, whether it's attitude, planning, training, etc. What did you think of that?
Yeah, so I think there was some good product messages come out, particularly Wendy Wu and Azamara. They're evolving the product and they're making it better, which for us is amazing.
And doing it on the back of the trends that we also talked about. So it was really kind of all knitted together, didn't it?
It just went brilliantly. Obviously, clearly moderated by the fabulous Lucy Huxley. But the messages came out really good. We said, prepare us for peaks, give us the information in advance. If you've got something great to share, we're willing to know about it under NDA, just so we can make sure we're ready to go beginning of January. But I think...
And are you, sorry to interrupt, but are you confident? I mean, I know we've talked a lot about some specialist markets there, but we have got Jet2 have done a bit of made a cautious move. They said they're predicting a difficult market, so they've trimmed capacity. We've heard On the Beach talking about profits warning. So there are headwinds. I used that word earlier, but I mean, how do you feel? Or is it more about, because you also said your beach is going really well, but there definitely is still a bit of nervousness in the air. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so I think we're a flexible and agile business. So if we saw a trend emerging, which was a slowdown on business, we'll look for new opportunities. Yeah. And I think that's what we do as an industry. We always do. But Jet2, despite what they've done, they've still got growth.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's
just a trimming of their planned capacity. It's still about 9% more than last year.
And I think that's a sensible move, because people, when they, you initially lay your plans down, if it's not going to work, then scale it back.
What about things like the closure of, Classic? That was very sad.
Very sad.
Last week. Did you do a lot of business with Classic?
They were a small partner in the size of our overall business, but it's always sad when you see, obviously they're a great team, and it's really sad because the relationships we've built with them over the years, So, you know, it's clearly disappointing, the decision that's been made, but we have to respect that's their business decision. And there's others, obviously, there's other suppliers that we can, absolutely, we have choices of where we can move. And we're not worried on that side of it. We know we can definitely move, you know, that business across. But yeah, it's sad when a long-serving tour operator is going out.
But overall, from your perspective, and again, speaking to your team then, so that you've obviously had lunch and you're now in the business sessions with your team, so the feeling is very upbeat, is it?
Very upbeat. Everyone said unanimously the best ever. Yes.
Oh, really?
So, yes, honestly. Oh, so
which is great for now, but then it sets the bar, isn't it? And no pressure for next year.
It's going to be so tough next year.
You have announced where you're going next year.
We have announced.
Do you want to just finish off and telling us where you're off to?
Delighted to announce our conference is the 1st of October 2026. We're going to the beautiful Lake Maggiore in Italy. So the hotel is stunning, right on the lakeside. So yes, very, very excited.
I think you'll have people signing up as we speak.
I offered it to the room. I said, who's in? And we had lots of people shouting. So yes, expect it to be our biggest.
I think that's the first time we've I think you even announced the dates before this one even started.
We did.
You're very well prepared.
Yeah, normally we would announce around March time. Okay. So we're very organised. So yes.
I know.
Yes.
Well, this is the theme. It's being prepared. So whether it's peaks or whether it's conference next year. Well, listen, thank you for your time. Thank you for inviting us. It's been a lovely time.
Honestly, brilliant to have you with us. So thank you.
Thanks, Nick.